Hey guys, welcome to the second video in this non-sports set series. Today we're going to be taking a look at the 1932 US Caramel Presidents set. A lot of people asked me to make a video on this because it's kind of an affordable way to jump into non-sports and still get a pretty famous name, and there's a clear connection to the baseball side of things. So let's say you're a big pre-war vintage baseball guy and you want to start learning a little bit about non-sports cards. Well, this is one of those easier sets to kind of bridge the gap. So with that being said, this set features the first 31/32 presidents of the United States. The reason why I said 31, 32 is Grover Cleveland was president 22 and also 24. He's just one of those weird edge cases, right? He was president, then wasn't president, and then came back to being president. So regardless, this set is found in three colors. There's people that focus literally on just one color, and there's people that want to get one card of each president in every color. Like I said, there's multiple ways to collect this set. I know a few people that are trying to get one red, one blue, one orange. Now, a few things to call out. We'll be talking about the colors on the next slide, but based off this image, what you can tell is the shades are all different for each of these cards. If you look at the blues, the blue coloring is a little bit different. The reds are a little bit different. Same with the oranges. There's some cards that are hard to tell if it's a red or orange in person unless you put another card next to it. It's one of the flaws, in my opinion, of the set, because there's those like in between ones between red and orange, and you can't fully tell. Obviously, some are bright orange, some are pretty dark red, but there's kind of those edge cases. And again, as I mentioned too from the intro, probably the equivalent, the biggest equivalent set is the 1932 Caramel Sports set. It's mostly known as a baseball set, but you could also find golfers and boxers in there. Okay, so this is an example of having Abraham Lincoln in a red, an orange, and a blue. Now, historically, grading companies, they've done a horrible job with non-sports, but this set in particular, they've been extremely lazy. They don't label the colors, right? You have three different colors coming in, and they don't even want to label them. Now, I did take a look at the SGC pop report before recording this video. When I was first prepping it, it looks like they now have red, blue, and orange labeled on their pop report, which is awesome, but there's very few cards that are in those buckets. So historical pop reports, yeah, those are messed up because we always want to cut corners. And PSA has still not adopted the three colors. I see as of July 2024, there's been multiple people that have been trying to present the set to PSA. Will they listen? Who knows? Because most of the hobby ignores non-sports, but they really should be putting that label on there. How hard is it to do? Okay, now one thing I did want to call out on this set is what I consider the Hannes Wagner of non-sports. A little bit controversial over here, but this card has really taken off for a while, right? And it's considered a short print within the set. So, and the reason why they short printed the McKinley is they didn't want to have candy paid out. So this card is only found in one color, the red color. You will not find this in a bright orange, or you will not find this in a blue. Now, most of these are going to be redeemed, so you're going to see a redemption back on the stamp, or redemption stamp on the back. I said a redemption back on the stamp, so apologize on there. But regardless, an SGC 5 of this sold for $96,000 10 years ago. And at the National recently, there was an SGC 3 that a seller was attempting to sell for $75,000. I don't know if that card is sold or not, but a lot of people consider this the holy grail of non-sports. And there's an interesting point to be made about this. What if this short print in the set was a Lincoln or Washington? How expensive would that be? No offense to McKinley, right? Beyond just being assassinated, he's not the biggest name in the set, right? And if this was a short printed Washington or a Lincoln or a Teddy Roosevelt, I think the card would be way more expensive. Let me know your opinions down below, because I do think that impacts the price point a little bit, especially when someone wants to spend that amount of money. Like Hannes Wagner, is he as good as Cobb? maybe not, but he's still a phenomenal baseball player, easily top 10 to top 20. McKinley, I don't know if he's a top 10 president. Here's the canceled backs. I wanted to show you guys. This was actually featured in my eBay non-sports series last month, but you can see how it says canceled, candy paid, and it's stamped right over here in the back. So essentially what to have this canceled back, a collector had to have all the cards, including the McKinley in their collection. Now, these are graded SGC 1s or PSA 1 MK. I don't know if I agree with that designation, but it's just how these grading companies grade. If there's a stamp or anything like that, they give it a 1 and they call it a day. Not my opinion. I disagree with it, but these are also separated typically in the pop reports. I'm sure there are a few have snuck by, but normally there's others in the pop report. This Teddy Blue back sold for $1,500 on eBay in June 2024. I actually prepped this video before the National. I did talk to the seller, and he said that original $1,500 deal, it was voided. The guy backed out, but he did sell the card. It just went a little bit cheaper than $1,500. So I do want to call that out because I did feature it in my last video, and I'm featuring it here, but that did not sell fully for $1,500. Okay, so full set pricing, right? A full set is considered one of every card of a president in any color minus the McKinley, so a total of 30 cards. If you want to find all of the cards together, right, you have 91. Commons right now are fetching anywhere between $40 and $60. This is low grade. I'm not talking about the ones that are creased beyond oblivion. I'm not talking about your Washington or Lincoln, right? There's still bigger names in the set, like a Teddy Roosevelt. That's going to cost you anywhere from $50 to $100. Grant, maybe a little bit more than $50 to $100, but that's typically what it is, right? On a low grade set value, if you don't have McKinley, and most of these are red, you're looking anywhere between $2,000 and $4,000. Okay. I just want to show you a few sales of the set. So this is from Vintage Non-Sports Auctions. This set right here with the McKinley one that was canceled, and there's 2 hole punches on this, interesting enough. This one sold for $46,400 back in 2019. Then we have a set over here of 30. This is higher graded cards minus the McKinley, and it says mostly blue. This one sold for $2,334, which shows you, right, the McKinley itself in a 1 back in 2019 was almost like a $40,000 card. We'll go over McKinley comps in a minute. And then also this set over here, some were to be desired, right? Like you can see some of the edges are cut off on some cards. There's some blues and things like that. This one sold for $1,100 in 2022, which is a steal because you have that Washington blue right over there. It's an expensive card. So the pop report right now, what we're taking a look at is 2,400 cards. Most of them are in the PSA pop, but SGC does have a lot. The average pop card in the set is about 81. The highest PSA grade is an 8.5. The highest grade in general on SGC is a 9. There's 2 SGC 9s and 63 8s out there. In my personal opinion, I still think there's 50 plus copies of each raw that exist for the cards in the set. Again, I could be completely wrong, but I think a lot of these are still stuck in collections and aren't graded yet. And we'll see what happens over time. Okay, and then the pop PSA sets. So the weighted GPAs, I don't know exactly how those work specifically, if it's like every card has to be a grade or whatnot, but you can see the highest one here is 7.78. Then you drop down to 6.5, 6.2, and 5.5. And then the 5th set is a 4.93. I don't know if this also includes the McKinley or not, or they make an exception for it. But just wanted to show you guys what the top graded sets look like. And also kind of a good segue. If you guys want to join, there's a big Facebook group I've started with a few other non-sports collectors. So just check out Vintage Non-Sports Collectors here on Facebook. We're actually approaching 1,000 members. We're going to do a giveaway once we hit 1,000 members, but check out the group. Super active. A lot of people in there buying, selling, and trading every day, and really trying to educate. I mean, that's the big thing. Vintage non-sports is so vast. I mean, you have all these different countries, all these issues. Even the grading companies have no idea what they're doing with it. So when you have everyone in one group together, everyone really learns quite a bit, and it's awesome. So make sure to join that. If you want to learn even more, link is down below in the description and also comment section. All right, let's start off with John Adams. I'm just going to go ABC order. So second president, founding father, 85 total pop. highest grade is an 8. A 4 blue sold for $250, and a 2 and an orange sold for $84. Up next, we have Grover Cleveland, non-consecutive term president. I had to put this one in here because it talked about a little bit earlier. Again, Pop 82, PSA 8 is the highest. There's a 7 sale that sold for $660, but then a 3 red sold for $49, which is a little bit cheaper. Grant, so Union General, most people know him for that. Also 18th president, 89 total graded. Highest is an 8. PSA 4 sold for $225, and then a PSA 3 sold for $125. Although this 3 looks really nice. All right, Andrew Jackson, 7th president, War of 1812. He's on the $20 bill. 72 total graded, PSA 7 highest. Some recent sales: CGC 5 blue 168, which I thought went really cheap in my opinion, and SGC 3 5 in a red, it sold for $80. Thomas Jefferson, 3rd president, Declaration of Independence, your $2 bill, 73 total graded. Your highest grade on there is a PSA 8. SGC 3 sold for $200, a PSA 1, and not pound 100, but $100 on Jefferson. His stuff has taken off a little bit. Then we have Abraham Lincoln, known for the Civil War, 16th president. The pop on Lincoln is quite high, 149. The highest graded is an 8. Recent SG or PSA 4.5 red sold for $800, and another PSA 4 sold for $13.79. I wanted to show a blue also. A blue 1.5 sold for $408. 1932, James Madison, 4th president, known as the father of the Constitution, 70 graded. Highest is a PSA 8. Red sold for $65, and then a blue sold for $168. All right, the most valuable card in the set, the William McKinley, 25th president. This is the short print in the set. There's 11 graded, the highest being that SGC 5 that sold for, what, 95 grand. Some recent sales, there's a PSA 1 red that sold on eBay for $15.6, which seems like such a steal for this card. And the SGC 5 sold for $96,000. FDR, last president considered in the set since it's a 1932. Mostly known for World War II and the Great Depression. Highest grade is a PSA 8. This 3.5 sold for $228, and a PSA 2 balloon sold for $233. Just from experience selling some of these FDR cards, in really poor shape, you can usually get between $100 and $150, and it quickly goes to $200 plus. I've sold a few of these, and I have 1 or 2 in my collection as well. Theodore Roosevelt, 26th president, known for the Rough Riders out of Cuba, 80 total graded. The highest on this teddy is a PSA 7. I believe there's also SGC 7. Just some sales. One recently sold for $143 with an SGC 6 blue selling for $750. And lastly, George Washington, known as first president, Revolutionary War. There's only 100 of these George Washingtons graded, which kind of surprised me because I would have thought it would have been very close to Abraham Lincoln, right? Lincoln at 150, Washington and Lincoln sell pretty close together in comps. There's certain sets where Washington outsells, and there's certain sets where Lincoln outsells. Regardless, the highest graded is an SGC 9. Just some recent sales on here. The SGC 9 itself sold for $12,000. SGC 2.5 is $396. So I do want to give some shout outs to video contributors to things like that. So if anyone wants to help me out on some of these non-sports sets, I don't know everything with non-sports, and I'm always looking to learn more. So if you are an expert within a certain set and you want to help out with a video, shoot me a message, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or email. I'll give you credits here at the very end. And I also want to thank all the different channel members. So Paul, Giles, Alaska Picker, and Aaron Herbert. With that being said, make sure to subscribe if you are brand new, and I'll continue to push out these non-sports videos.